In this world, filled with distractions, noise, and unending responsibilities, the heart of a human being yearns for one simple thing: peace. As we age, our priorities shift. The need to prove, to please, and to pursue fades like a mist in the morning sun. And yet, many of us still find ourselves burdened with the weight of others' expectations, still craving approval, and still entangled in emotional battles that no longer serve our soul. This is where the timeless teachings of the Buddha shine most clearly. Buddhism offers not just a religion, but a path, a way of life that guides us toward inner calm, deep wisdom, and enduring happiness. In this journey, we embrace mindfulness, practice non-attachment, cultivate loving-kindness. Let this video be your companion on a gentle journey inward. Whether you're in your later years or simply ready to live more intentionally, we will explore how focusing on yourself, embracing silence, and living with clarity can lead to true contentment. Through the ancient wisdom of the Buddha, we will explore how to let go, how to observe without interference, and how to love ourselves unapologetically. 1. Why letting go of the need for approval is the key to inner peace. From the moment we're born, we are conditioned to seek approval. Approval from our parents, our teachers, our peers, our society. We learn early that praise is pleasure, and disapproval is pain. But in the Dhamma, the Buddha teaches that the search for external validation is a trap, a bond that ties us to suffering. Approval is fleeting. Today they praise you, tomorrow they forget you. If your happiness depends on the opinions of others, your peace is no longer your own. The Buddha encouraged us to look inward, be a lamp unto yourself. Rely on yourself, and do not rely on others. These words are a call to spiritual maturity. They ask us to abandon the false security of praise and walk the middle path with integrity, even when no one is watching. Letting go of approval does not mean we become cold or isolated. Instead, we act from right intention, one of the Noble Eightfold Path's pillars. We speak with right speech, behave with right action, and cultivate right livelihood, not to win applause, but because it aligns with our values. The moment we release the craving for recognition, a new clarity emerges. We no longer chase, we simply are. Like a lotus rising from the mud, unsoiled and untouched, we live in the world but are no longer of it. This detachment does not harden us. On the contrary, it opens our heart to metta, or loving kindness. We stop seeing others as judges and competitors, and begin seeing them as fellow travelers on the path. The peace you seek has always been within you, not in the approval of others, but in the stillness of your own heart. When you let go of the need for validation, you finally begin to hear that silence. And in that silence, peace is born. By turning inward and embracing solitude, we create the space necessary for authentic growth. We no longer look outward to define ourselves. We understand that what we are is not dependent on recognition or fame, but on inner clarity and purpose. With this wisdom, we become free to live in alignment with Dhamma. This is the beginning of spiritual independence. It allows us to relate to others with compassion rather than craving. We speak not to be heard, but to convey truth. We give not to be admired, but because generosity is our nature. Every act becomes pure, unburdened by the need to be noticed. In old age, this wisdom becomes even more vital. We are no longer in the rush of youth, driven by ambition. Instead, we have the opportunity to reflect, to simplify, to embrace a life that is more silent but infinitely more meaningful. Let go, and peace will enter quietly, like the morning sun through a window left open. Let us now reflect on another profound teaching. 2. How detachment leads to freedom and a lighter heart. The Buddha's teachings often return to a central truth: craving causes suffering. Craving for pleasure, craving for permanence, craving for identity. At the heart of this craving lies attachment. We cling to people, to places, to roles, to the image of ourselves we hope others see. And in doing so, we carry great weight. Detachment, then, is not coldness. It is the release of unnecessary burden. True detachment begins with understanding impermanence. Everything changes. The body ages. Relationships evolve. Circumstances shift. When we accept this, we stop trying to force the world to stay the same. We open ourselves to flow with life, rather than fight against it. This is the wisdom of anicca, the law of change. Imagine carrying a heavy bag everywhere you go. You grow used to it. You even forget how tired you are. But when you set it down, you feel suddenly lighter. You breathe easier. Detachment is that moment. You realize that your peace is more important than your pride, your ego, your need to be right or remembered. You let go, and in doing so, you reclaim your freedom. This freedom gives rise to compassion. When we stop clinging, we become more open. We see others not as extensions of our own desires, but as beings on their own journey. We stop trying to change them. We stop needing them to act a certain way for us to be happy. We simply wish them well, and move forward with love. Daily practices of detachment might include mindfulness of thoughts. Watch your mind when it gets caught in stories, the ones where you're the hero, the victim, or the judge. Notice the tension. Then breathe, and let the story pass like clouds across the sky. You are not your thoughts. As we grow older, we are gifted the opportunity to let go of more. Responsibilities lessen. Ambitions soften. What remains is the chance to return to simplicity. To be content. To know that we need very little to be truly at peace. Detachment is not retreat. It is refinement. It is letting go of the trivial to make space for the sacred. Let us now turn to another enduring truth. 3. The power of silence and why every battle is not worth fighting. Silence is not merely the absence of noise. It is the presence of peace. In Buddhism, silence is revered, not only as a practice but as a teacher. The Buddha often remained silent when asked certain questions, not out of disregard, but because some truths are better experienced than explained. This sacred silence invites us inward, where true understanding lies. In life, we are often tempted to speak, to defend, to correct. But not every battle deserves our voice. Many arguments arise from ego, not wisdom. The wise choose silence over conflict, not because they are weak, but because they understand the value of their peace. They know that silence can be more powerful than 1,000 words. In our older years, silence becomes more than a preference, it becomes a sanctuary. It is in silence that we hear our inner voice. It is in silence that we connect with the breath, with nature, with the rhythm of the present moment. Noise distracts, silence aligns. Every time you resist the urge to fight a meaningless battle, you preserve your energy. That energy can be redirected toward compassion, reflection, and meditation. Ask yourself, will this argument bring peace? Will it lead to growth? If not, let it pass. Just like a leaf floating down a stream, let the conflict drift away without resistance. Silence also teaches humility. We do not always need to be right. We do not need to have the last word. When we let go of that need, we become more centered, more whole. We understand that our worth is not diminished by silence, it is often enhanced by it. Monks observe noble silence for days, even weeks, as a way to deepen mindfulness. You too can practice this. Spend a few hours a day in silence. No music, no phone, no distractions. Just breathe, observe, and be. You'll discover a richness within you that no conversation could ever provide. 4. Why observing instead of interfering is a sign of wisdom. To observe is to see without judgment. To interfere is often to act from fear or control. In today's fast-paced world, we often feel compelled to react, to offer unsolicited advice, to intervene in others' paths with the belief that we know better. But wisdom teaches us restraint. The Buddha often watched others with great compassion but never imposed. He offered the Dhamma freely, but never forced its acceptance. This was his wisdom. He understood that true transformation comes from within and that no external pressure can replace inner readiness. In our later years, especially, we must learn the power of stepping back. Children will make their choices. The world will move on. Your role is not to control, but to witness with peace. This doesn't mean we don't care, it means we love enough to let life unfold. Observation brings insight. It allows us to see the patterns of samsara, the endless cycle of desire and suffering. When we interfere, we disrupt karma's unfolding. But when we observe, We honor the law of cause and effect. We allow each person to learn from their own experience, as we once did. This practice deepens sati, or mindfulness. You begin to watch your thoughts, your reactions, and the world around you, without needing to change it. You become aware of your own triggers, your own urges to correct or control, and you learn to sit with them. This is the heart of Buddhist mindfulness, observation without attachment. You are no longer a participant in every drama, but a conscious witness to life. And that is freedom. You begin to see how fleeting emotions can be, how problems solve themselves in time, and how silence is sometimes the most loving response. As your wisdom deepens, so does your compassion. You realize that each person has their path, their lessons, their timing. You no longer push, you simply love. You offer your presence, your blessings, and your silent understanding. This is the embodiment of upekkha, or equanimity, a sublime state in Buddhist teachings. This is the gift of age, the grace to observe, and the strength not to interfere. In doing so, you not only protect your peace, but you empower others to grow. You become a quiet light, not blinding others with instruction, but gently illuminating their path with your example. Let us now shift to a more personal truth. 5. How to prioritize yourself unapologetically and create a life of true contentment. In traditional Buddhist teachings, right effort is not just about work, it's about directing your energy toward liberation. And that liberation begins with taking responsibility for your own well-being. Too often, we spend our lives tending to others while neglecting ourselves. We give and give, hoping to be seen, loved, or needed. But the Dhamma teaches, you too are worthy of your own care. Without tending to your own garden, how can you truly nourish others? Prioritizing yourself is not selfish, it is essential. When your cup is full, you can give without resentment. When your heart is still, your presence becomes a blessing to others. This is the difference between self-sacrifice and self-respect. One drains you. The other empowers you. Start by asking, what brings me peace? What nourishes my soul? Where do I find stillness? These are not indulgent questions. They are sacred inquiries. They are invitations to reconnect with your own truth. You deserve space in your own life, not just as a caretaker, but as a soul on a sacred journey. Create routines that serve your well-being. Meditate each morning, walk mindfully, chant, reflect, or sit in silence. Say no when you must. Speak kindly to yourself. Let your daily actions reflect love for the being you are. In the Eightfold Path, right concentration and right mindfulness require inward attention. The Buddha meditated under the Bodhi tree not for others, but for truth. He prioritized silence over social duty, solitude over noise, and truth over popularity. You are allowed to choose yourself. Not once. Not secretly. But unapologetically. Each time you honor your peace, you affirm your sacredness. Your peace is your responsibility. And in cultivating it, you offer the world your truest self. When you live authentically, others feel safe to do the same. This self-prioritization is not a retreat from love, it is a return to pure love, unburdened by resentment or exhaustion. It is the rebirth of joy. Now we arrive at the heart of the teaching. 6. How to embrace peace and live for you. Peace is not something we find, it is something we return to. It has always been within us, beneath the noise, beneath the attachments, beneath the fears. In every breath, in every pause, in every moment of awareness, peace awaits. To live for yourself is to live in accordance with Dhamma. Not chasing, not performing, not resisting, but simply being. It is to trust the rhythm of your own heart more than the rhythm of the world's demands. The Buddha said peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. These are not poetic words, they are the foundation of awakening. Peace is not an achievement, or applause, or accumulation. It is in presence. Peace is found in the present moment, in the rhythm of breath, in the quiet of dawn, in the simplicity of a mindful life. It is not loud. It does not demand. It simply is, and when you stop running, you finally feel it. Living for yourself means aligning your actions with your values. It means walking the Eightfold Path with honesty, It means honoring your journey, even if no one understands it. And it means releasing the need to explain your peace to those who cannot yet hear it. The world may call it solitude, but the Dhamma calls it liberation. When you live for yourself, not in selfishness but in truth, you stop betraying your spirit. You walk in integrity. You radiate stillness. Live slowly. Live deeply. Live truthfully. Rest often. Laugh gently. Cry freely. And most of all, be at peace. And above all, live in peace, not as a luxury, but as your natural state. As this journey comes to a close, let us return to where we began, the yearning for peace, the burden of noise, and the ache for meaning that often grows louder with age. In a world that constantly demands more achievement, more attention, more conformity, there comes a quiet longing to let go. Not in defeat, but in liberation. Not in retreat, but in awakening. Through the timeless wisdom of the Buddha, we have walked a path inward. We have not sought escape, but return to the essence of who we truly are. Beneath the layers of expectation, beyond the roles we have played for others, within the silence we have often avoided, we discover the radiant truth of our being. We have learned that peace begins when we release the need for approval. That the applause of the world cannot fill the hollowness created by self-forgetting. The Buddha taught that external praise is impermanent, like clouds drifting through the sky. If we tie our self-worth to such passing moments, we live in chains. But when we anchor ourselves in inner truth, we become unshakable. We have seen that freedom arises through detachment. Detachment is not abandonment, it is understanding. It is knowing what to hold and when to release. It is recognizing that nothing, no one, and no moment lasts forever. In letting go, we stop resisting the river of life and learn to float peacefully with its current. We've explored the profound strength of silence. A silence not of passivity, but of presence. Every moment we choose stillness over argument, observation over reaction, we reclaim a piece of ourselves that was once scattered in the noise of the world. In silence, we hear our truth. In silence, we reconnect with the breath, the bridge between body and soul. We've remembered that wisdom lies in observation, not interference. That watching with compassion is often more powerful than trying to fix. The greatest gift we can offer others, especially our children, our families, our communities, is our peaceful presence. To observe is to trust in life's unfolding. It is to respect the sacred timing of each soul's growth. We've also discovered that joy and contentment emerge when we prioritize ourselves, not from ego, but from wisdom. The Buddha never taught martyrdom. He taught balance. He taught right effort, right mindfulness, right view, all of which require turning inward. Tending to our own mind, caring for our own heart, nurturing our own peace. Because a peaceful self creates a peaceful world. And we've embraced the truth that to live for ourselves, gently, consciously, with compassion, is not selfish. It is the highest form of responsibility. When we are rooted in our own truth, our relationships transform. Our contributions are no longer diluted by resentment or exhaustion. They become sacred offerings, given freely from a full heart. So, as you move forward from this moment, walk gently. There is no need to rush. You are not late. Speak truthfully, not just to others, but to yourself. Speak words that heal, not harm. Love without clinging, offer love like the sun offers light, expecting nothing in return. Observe without judgment. Let others be who they are, just as you allow yourself to be. Make meditation a part of your life. Not as a task, but as a sanctuary. Sit in stillness each day, even if just for a few minutes. Let your breath guide you home. And return, again and again, to that sacred space within you where the world cannot enter. You owe no one your peace. It is not a gift to be traded, nor a currency to be earned. But you owe it to yourself to protect it fiercely. Peace is your birthright. Guard it as you would a precious jewel, for it is what makes your spirit shine. If these words have touched something deep within you, don't let the journey end here. Share your reflections in the comments. Your voice might be the light someone else is waiting for. Let others know they are not alone in their search for meaning, in their path to healing. Subscribe to this channel for more wisdom rooted in the Dhamma. Let this space become your online temple, a place where the ancient meets the modern, where tradition meets heart, and where you are always welcome just as you are. The world will continue to spin. Let it whirl. Let the noise exist beyond you. You do not have to follow it. Your path is inward. It always has been. Let the silence rise. Let the peace settle in your bones. The journey is not over, it is now. And it is yours.